Grace and peace be with you. Hi, my name is Mark. I'm the pastor at Sycamore Creek in Potterville. I have a brief thought for you today. It's from Proverbs chapter 21, verses 9 through 19. I've been working my way through Proverbs in my devotions and sharing a brief thought on that. As I read today, I was reminded that I was recently at our Sycamore Creek marriage retreat, and I noticed verse 9 and 19 that both address conflict in marriage. As I've mentioned before, don't get caught up in genders in the book of Proverbs. Don't get caught up on whether this is the husband or a wife. I think what's helpful in these verses could apply to either a husband or a wife. And so, what does Solomon say in these verses to avoid? He says to avoid a quarrelsome spouse or an ill-tempered spouse. Now, I read a few commentaries on these verses 9 and 19 of Proverbs 21. And I gotta be honest, I was a little disappointed with what the commentaries had to say. They basically say it's better to be alone than with an ill-tempered or quarrelsome spouse. It's better to be on a rooftop exposed to the weather, not within a structure, than to be with a quarrelsome spouse. And there's some truth there, right? Being miserable and arguing all the time with a spouse is miserable. That makes sense. But then what the commentaries seem to say was just choose wisely. And I'll be honest, choose wisely, that's good advice. But I think there's things that we can do that are more than just choosing wisely. And once you've chosen, well, either you need to get out of this marriage if you're miserable, or that's it. I think there are things that we can do to improve our marriages, and I kind of wish Proverbs in these verses would address some of that. So if you're desiring or thinking about getting married, I think you should choose wisely. That's good advice. But if you're married, I want to encourage you to work on your marriage, to not be so quarrelsome with your spouse. I want to encourage you to bring wisdom and righteousness, especially that righteousness, to your marriage. I think that what you'll find is that over time, as you pursue God's wisdom and righteousness together with your spouse, you'll have a better marriage. You'll be less ill-tempered. You'll be less quarrelsome as a couple. And that's life to the full. May God's grace and peace be with you.